Hey everybody, it's Susabelle from Patchwork Chicken Studio. It's Thursday night, which means it is time for Live from the Studio. Tonight I thought I would talk a little bit about how we make our hot pads. And before I get started on that, I wanted to show you I have really great friends and they know I need stuff. And so I have this cat sitter. She's a friend, but also my cat sitter, and she comes and watches my cat when I have to go out of town. Anyway, she brought me a bunch of pockets. These two denim pockets, because she knows I use them. And I don't have a project for them right now, but they're great as a second pocket on my tote bags or inside one of my purses, or to make on hot pads. So I'm always happy when somebody brings me something and I didn't have to pay for it and I can use it to make something really cool. So I'm trying something a little different tonight. So you may see me move around a little bit, my eyes move around a little bit, but I actually want to demonstrate a little bit about how I make these hot pads. So I make these really cute, and I'm going to adjust my light here a little bit. So I make these really cute denim hot pads, or denim coasters. Sorry, I said hot pads, coasters. So these coasters look like little blue jean pockets. I just showed you pockets. And I love making these, and these are cotton, so cotton jeans and cotton thread and cotton batting inside, so they're super, super absorbent, and they're rustic. They're great for a cabin, or if you have that rustic decor. I love rustic. It's kind of my thing, that cabin theme. I love these, and I make them from the legs of blue jeans. So you would think I'm using pockets to make these, because they have a little pocket design on them, but I'm not. I'm actually sewing that pocket design on, and I'm going to try to show you how I do that, so you kind of have an idea of how I work with the denim. So the first thing I wanted to talk about is the thread that I use. So we know when we look at a pair of jeans, the thread is really, really thick. All that top stitching, the double stitch seams and all that, it's very thick. So this is actually, and I'm going to compare it to another thread here in a few minutes, but this is actually top stitching cotton denim thread. So it's made for top stitching or the stitching on jeans, so putting the pockets on, the belt loops and all of that. And I can buy these online, and I have forgotten where I think it's WAWAK, W-A-W-A-K, sells these, and they actually sell official colors. So this one here is Lee Jeans Gold. And this one here, Levi's Gold. I had to write that on there because when I look at them, they're very similar, but they're not the same. And so they are different. And you can get a lot of different colors. I do have gray. So I like the gray. I have a pink. I have a hot pink. I haven't used it yet. And tonight I'm going to be demonstrating using red. Not that we would ever have jeans with red in them, but I like the thread. And I think you can do a lot with contrasting thread when you're doing top stitching, especially on denim. It also holds up really well, and it's cotton, so everything in these coasters is 100% cotton. So when I'm getting ready to build coasters, and I've got some in various stages of being put together here, I need 8 pieces of denim cut to 5.5 inches. And this is why I don't make them out of pockets. If I had to cut 8 pockets to use for a coaster, I'd have to have 8 pairs of jeans. I can get these 8 pieces of denim out of one front leg or back leg of a pair of jeans and still have enough left at the top to make a bag from the pocket in the back of the jeans. So I just use just the regular fabric that's in the jeans and not the pockets, because I want to save those pockets for bags. But I still want to have that sort of pocket design, so I'm going to sew that on. It'll be top stitched on. In addition to these 8 squares of denim, I'm going to need 8 squares of cotton batting. And this is a great use for my scraps. I always have scraps. I make a baby quilt, and there's always a piece left over. As long as it's 4.5 inches, that's enough. So these are 5.5. These are 4.5. Together, they make a nice little sandwich. So I'm going to see if you can see that. I'm having a really hard time with this. There's my denim There's 2 layers of cotton batting, and here's my top denim. So that's the sandwich that I make to make those coasters. So this is one I've already sewn around the edge. And you can see I do 2 lines of stitching. You could do this with a double needle if you wanted to. I just do it. It doesn't take very long to do it. I do a 1/2 inch from the edge, and I'll show you why that is in a little bit. And then I do another line about 1/8 of an inch in from there, or 1/4 inch. You can kind of guess this, because once these are done and they've been snipped and washed, it won't matter. So if they're a little wonky, it's not really going to show. These gold ones, you actually can't really see. You can see there's 2 rows, but it's not real, it's not real noticeable. The 2 rows are so that so the batting is actually caught inside the sandwich, and then I don't lose it when I start doing the other stuff to it. So now I'm going to adjust my camera down to my sewing machine. So bear with me, because like I said, I haven't done this before. So I want you to kind of have an idea of what I'm doing when I create that little pocket design. So I actually draw the pocket design on free-handed with a pencil. That's a little scary, right? But that works best for me. I can find a pencil with a lead on it. There we go. So I look at these ones I have. So it looks like a pocket. This one is more structured. Do you see the points kind of meet each other? And so that's really what I'm looking for. And all I need to do is to draw the top curve. So I only need to draw this part. I don't have to draw the under part, because I'm going to use my guide on my machine to make that 1/4 of an inch or 3/8 of an inch. So I just want to freehand those lines. So I'm going to start in what I think is the middle. If I'm not sure I could measure it, I'm pretty good at freehanding, but I do always keep a little ruler around, and I can make myself a mark at what I think is the middle of the stitching, which in this case would be 2. So I could always make myself a little mark so I don't make a mistake. But again, these don't have to be perfect. Part of the value of rustic is that it's rustic. It's not perfect. We're using recycled materials. I'm using blue jeans for this. I'm using scraps of the cotton batting. So I don't want to get too carried away with it having to be perfect. So I'm going to draw my little curve. This is just going to tell me where I need to stitch. And then I'm going to draw this other curve this way. And you notice I can't see it very well, but I don't need to. I just need to have enough. So this here, this little spot here is going to be that box. That little box right there, or a little diamond. So that's how that's going to work. So I'm going to hope my sewing machine is not too darn loud, but we'll try this and see. I'm glad you guys are here to watch me see if I can make a mistake or not, and if you can see what I'm doing. I have not done any kind of filming of myself sewing, so that could be interesting. So I'm going to start, and because of the red thread, you should be able to see what I'm doing. And yes, I need to put my glasses on. Can't see what I'm doing. So I'm going to go down to that little square that I drew. And you can use as big a stitch as you like. It is top stitching, so it doesn't matter. I'm also kind of in a hurry. If I'm making these to sell, then I want to get through them pretty quickly so I don't have to charge too much, because my time counts. So in this case, I've gone about 1/4 of an inch after turning it. And I'm going to use the edge of my presser foot to just follow that curve back up. And so there I have half. Let me snip some threads here. I have half of my curve. So now I'm going to want to go and do this other half of the curve. And this machine, I'll talk about my machine a little bit. It's one of my antiques. So my brother collects and repairs old sewing machines. So sometimes they're really old, from the early 1900s. Sometimes they're a little newer. Sometimes they're older than that. I think his oldest machine is from the 1880s, late 1880s. My oldest machine is from 1904. But this machine is a white 1466. It was built in 1958. So it has no plastic parts. Everything is metal on here, including the knobs, everything. Everything is metal. So they don't break. They're really easy to fix. They just need to be oiled and cleaned once in a while. So I do love this machine. It also can handle up to 8 layers of denim. It was made to sew upholstery and tent awnings, that kind of thing. So it can handle it. Makes me happy. So I'm going to sew my next little curve here. And I'm just guiding right into my little square. I'm going to go about a quarter of an inch. Sometimes I do this by hand with my hand wheel, just so I don't make a mistake. And then I'm going to use that curve to come back up. I back tack a little bit just because I don't want the thread to come out, although in general this top stitching thread is so heavy that it does not come loose. So here is my coaster. So the next step, the last step, is to get this ruffly, ravelly stuff. People love this. It's amazing to me. You know, to me it's raggedy, but then I like it too. I like the rustic look of it. And so the way I'm going to do this is to snip all these edges. And I will take a corner out at about right even with the stitching right here. So I'm going to take that corner out. Sometimes it takes me a try or 2 or 3. And then I'm just going to snip. I don't want to snip to my threads, but I want to get close. So if you can see me go in here, I'm doing about a quarter of an inch, give or take. Again, I'm not sitting out and marking them and doing it. I'm not going to do that. I have more important things to do with my time, and they don't need to be this way. They don't need to be perfect. They just need to be there. So when I'm done, once I snip this whole thing, and I throw it in the washing machine or in the dryer, I really just have to throw it in the dryer. So I put it in the dryer with a towel or a pair of jeans, doesn't matter. And then I just run it around for about 20 minutes, and you get this ravelly, ruffly look. And these will continue to ravel a little bit once they're with their owner. Every time you wash them, they're going to ravel a little bit, but that just makes them more rustic. They will never ravel through the threading or through the sewing if you did it right. So if you left a big gap, then yeah, it's going to ravel through. You may also notice when I was doing this, I made sure that I've grabbed a little piece of that batting so that it can't curl up inside of here. So I always make sure the batting is outside of my stitching, and that's what holds it, keeps it from rolling up in there. The cool thing about cotton is it's super absorbent. It's not going to let you down. It's not going to leave your counters wet. I'm going to try to push my camera back here. I love doing these. They're quick for the most part, as long as I have the materials I need. Probably spend more time cutting them than I do sewing them up. But I do like doing them, and I like giving them away as gifts. They're kind of unique. If I know somebody who has a lake house or a cabin, they always get one, or they travel, that kind of thing. Because these are so washable and so easy to take care of. And I always get the comments, wow, you used pockets. No, I didn't. I didn't have enough pockets to use pockets. It would take 8 pairs of jeans or 4 pairs of jeans to get 8 pockets. I can't waste jeans like that. So I sew those little designs in. And for me, using color is fun, but most people are expecting that gold. You know, I don't know if this one was Lee or Levi's, but they're expecting the gold because it looks like blue jeans. So I hope you enjoyed my little tutorial. My measurements again were the squares, the denim squares are 5.5 inches, and the little batting squares are 4.5 inches. So that gives you 1/2 inch on all sides to cut that little fringe there so it can ravel away. Any questions, feel free to leave me a comment. We do sell these at our shows for $12 for a set of 4. So they're relatively cheap. I think they're cheap. I think they're something everybody should have, especially if you like that look. And I hope to hear from you. And this was, once again, Thursday in the studio. I hope you had a good time. And look for us next week on Thursday as well at 6 p.m.